Hey friends, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team. Wanted to make this video on the Bearish Harami pattern. So this is a chart of the SPX or the S&P, right? So S&P is in an uptrend, right? Right here. And then all of a sudden, you can see bigger. Again, big is kind of relative when you're looking at things. You know, this is obviously bigger than this one. But look at this, bigger green candlestick, solid, with a smaller red candlestick contained in the real body, right? At the top of an uptrend. Look right over here. Price is overextended, right? The more a stock gets overextended to the upside or the downside, it naturally, if it's a decent stock, wants to move back to these moving average lines. That's why you'll see these patterns many of times happen further away from moving average lines, like you see up here, or closer in between. So when a stock is overbought or oversold, price naturally wants to gravitate back. And then when price is at critical moving average lines, that's when you see other patterns form. And obviously it's that battle and that tug of war between the bulls and the bears. So RSI gave you a huge warning over here. You can see up here, price is overextended. This bullish candlestick is bigger than this smaller one right here. It's wrapped up here. Bearish Harami, and boom, here you go. It fell, right? So this is a big warning sign. Then these tops over here were like really a big warning sign. But just to show you here, candlesticks within a big overall pattern. This is a head and shoulders. Head right here, left shoulder, right shoulder, right? So that's why it's important to see these two candlestick patterns. You give you a clue. When you saw this, you can say, okay, this might be a head forming. That's a potential right shoulder. Now, you can see these are huge warning signs. They give you 3. If you missed this warning sign, there was 3 right here that said warning, 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 and then there you go. There's the base of the head and shoulders and cracked. Meanwhile, a newbie trader's looking at this and they're like, oh, the market just crashed. Why did it crash? Well, listen, you had several warning signs. Not only this up here, you started getting the warning signs over here. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 warning signs. And meanwhile, we get these big days and everybody's wondering what the heck happened. The market's going to crash. The sky's falling. Well, here you go. They had all these warning signs. That's why it's very important, candlesticks, patterns, and knowing how they all work. Let's take a look at Verizon over here, right? So Verizon's heading up here. You have a big red candlestick up here, followed by a smaller green real body, as you can see right here. It's kind of engulfing it, right? Remember that kind of the pregnant kind of thing. The body's engulfing here, smaller real body at the top of an uptrend. But as you can see, price didn't just tank right after that. It gave you several warning signs. Sometimes you'll get it really drop. Sometimes you'll get it to, kind of consolidate. And sometimes it might not be bearish. Sometimes it might look bearish and then it might go up. As you can see here, Bearish Harami, and then you had several candlesticks of all these kind of tops and all these indecision candlesticks before you had the big drop. Again, several warning signs. No coincidence, Verizon kind of running with the big overall market. So when I showed you the S&P, as you can see, kind of gave you these warning signs. So it was different. The S&P gave you a head and shoulders. This gave you a different sign, but it's kind of a head and shoulders. You can see a head up here, left shoulder maybe at this candlestick here, followed by kind of a right shoulder, and that tricked you. It faked you out over here. So you could have said these would have been the right shoulder that were lower than this left shoulder and a head. So again, be aware overall patterns that sometimes will trick you. So don't be like, okay, head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Oh, that broke above real quick, so it's not a head and shoulder. Sometimes you'll get that quick fake out and boom, and it tanks, right? Patterns within patterns. Let's look at GM. GM was in an uptrend, right? It was moving up here. Big green candlestick. And as you can see, smaller, still kind of bigger, but smaller red candlestick, right? I guess if you zoom in, it looks a little bit different. But as you can see, the wick just went a tiny bit above the top, but the body, the real body, was still contained. The smaller real body was still contained within this bullish candlestick. And then as you can see, one more green one may have faked you out thinking that it was going to be a bull flag. And then boom, it fell. Now, again, very important to look at other things. Look at how far price is away from the moving average lines. RSI was very overextended over here. You had one, kind of two, almost three bull flags. You're going on towards the fourth bull flag. So you got to be aware of all this and the other indicators. And boom, bearish Harami, price fell. Amazon. So Amazon right here wasn't even overextended, just near the moving average line. So again, many of the times, you'll see these patterns happen, when a price is overextended. But then other times, very important to follow, it happens right at critical moving average lines. So you can see green candlestick here, envelop the smaller real body here. Some people could say, well, hey, maybe that's just a bull flag, a flag pull up, kind of flag here, bouncing off the 50 SMA. But, no, it was a fake out. And as you can see, price fell below these moving average lines. Very important to watch when these patterns happen within overall patterns. This could also be a setup when you see something like this. Oh, maybe this is a head. Maybe this is a left shoulder forming. And then as you can see, price kind of fell right here. Over here, you can see one could say that might be a right shoulder. So head, left shoulder, right shoulder, price broke below the neckline. So this two pattern setup here is also part of a bigger overall pattern. Even if you don't see this over here, you can see other patterns forming, then look at other support and resistance lines. Again, very important to see the patterns within the patterns in the overall bigger pattern. Facebook, bearish Harami, right? Big green candlestick, smaller red one. The wicks came outside of the real body, but it's still contained. And there you go, drop, bam. But you can see kind of a left shoulder, a head. And now you can kind of go back over here and even say, hey, maybe this is a right shoulder now forming. And you can see this is a head with a left shoulder, potentially right shoulder forming. Look at all these things, right? All these warnings, all these patterns. Again, we're doing videos on all these patterns that will be part of the series, but it's very important to kind of put this big overall, look at the big overall picture and see what's happening, and you get all of these clues as to what's happening with these candlesticks. BSX, here you go, price is up, big green candlestick. Smaller real body. You actually had several of these real bodies in here. Lots of indecision. No coincidence. Happened right at this black line, that 200 SMA. Boom, failed, fell down. But then buyers came back in, kind of pushed it back up. But look at all these crazy indecision candles. Very difficult to trade that. Lots of indecision. If you're not a member of our community yet on Facebook, make sure to come and join us. We are the Bullish Bears. You will see we call ourselves the stock market community up here just to differentiate ourselves from our fan page. So make sure you like and follow our fan page to stay in touch with us. Also, too, if you join our community, you'll notice that we keep all the spammers, all the trolls, and all the stock pumpers out. So it's a really good, clean Facebook group. We run a tight ship over there. So if you want to talk to other traders around the world in a really good, safe place, make sure to come and join us. If you have not been over to our website yet, head over to bullishbears.com. The link will be below. You'll see that we offer a lot to our community members. We have several different trade rooms. We have a day trade room, a swing trade room, a futures trade room. Our trade rooms are open 24/7. So if you're working, you could always go back and look at the chat throughout the day. Again, talk to other traders, anytime, day or night. So not only do we have our Facebook group for our community, we also have all of our trade rooms as well to really help you with support when you're getting started with trading. Each night we do send out watch list and trade alerts. We are not stock pumpers. We do not call out entries and exits. We help to teach you to become your own trader. So each night we send out our trade alerts with key breakout and breakdown areas with notes to really help you to make your own trading decisions and not rely upon us. And if you want to become a successful trader, that is super important. You don't want to be following stock pumpers. You want to be able to make your own entries and your own exits. So read about how our trade alerts work over here. If you're new, again, we have several $1,000s worth of free courses over here. Make sure to take them. Give yourself a few months to get comfortable with trading. You're not going to make money overnight. It takes time to become a successful trader. So take our free courses and really get comfortable with trading. So if you're not a member yet, you can come up over here and click subscribe. Also, too, before you leave and become a member, make sure to please, if you like this video, like it, share it, comment on it, and subscribe to our channel. So we hope this video helped you, and we'll see you in our community. Enjoy.